Plaintiff Brian Lehman started dating the defendant after they met online. But a couple of months into the relationship, he discovered the defendant was just looking for a sugar daddy. Brian says when the defendant broke up with him, she didn't give him a reason, and he's suing her today for the value of a mattress. Defendant Kelly Porter says after Brian moved in with her, she discovered he was severely addicted to food, so much so that he would often eat 5 pounds of fried chicken in one sitting. And he could go through nearly 6 loaves of bread a week. Kelly's countersuing for unpaid rent, bills, and food expenses.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Prove your case, sir.
Kelly and I met on Match.com in December of 2008, a couple days before Christmas. Soon to find out a couple months into it that she was just looking for a sugar daddy.
Now, what did you get her for Christmas?
Well, we weren't together for Christmas. She had family things to do. So we didn't actually meet until...
That's not the sign of a sugar daddy chaser. Christmas?
It's a big one.
Yeah.
She would have rushed that
Evidently
relationship.
She wasn't that much of a rush.
She would have told you she loved you and everything else. I love you, baby. We want to get on the fast track for this. Let's spend Christmas together. You would have heard that.
Yeah.
If she was a sugar daddy chaser. She's shaking her head. See, she knows. See, let me see that watch. Oh, yeah, let's put it up. All those diamonds. Oh, you definitely got you a sugar daddy.
Well, look at
Lord have mercy.
Look at the watch I got her. Look at what she's wearing.
What you have.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Sugar daddy. That might be right. Go ahead, sir.
Actually, we met for coffee 3 days after Christmas, just to get to know each other. And things were going good. We had both been in similar situations with having children and divorce and sort of like that. So it turned into lunch. And she said, well, I want to tell you something. I want to be up front. I was in a cult. And at first, I should have just ran out the door. But, after hearing her story, I felt sorry for her not really having a childhood.
What did she tell you?
Well, at first, she said, I asked her what kind of cult it was. She goes, David Koresh, but without the weapons.
Okay. Do you want to respond to any of this and give some folks some insight on what to do and how to avoid being victimized? And did you feel victimized?
Well, that was in my past. It doesn't have anything to do with this case currently. It just has to do with my past and where I was as far as, a religious sect that I was involved in.
All right, sir, go ahead.
Yes. So, she came out of her past positively. She became a successful real estate agent. And when times were down, she became an entrepreneur and cleaning houses and businesses. Good. So, she would come over basically to my apartment after work and we'd watch movies together because she'd never seen any shows that you and I grew up with, Laverne and Shirley, Happy Days, Good Times. Never knew any of that stuff, even never seen
Which
Godfather.
one is your favorite out of all those?
I like Good Times.
Good Times?
Yeah.
All right. Mine is Fred Sanford. That's Sanford and Son.
Oh, yeah.
That was good.
The Jeffersons.
Yep.
Yeah, he was great.
Green Acres. And then Good Times.
Yeah.
So they're in my top 5.
Yeah.
And I still watch them.
Yeah.
Go ahead. So she hadn't experienced any of that, and you began to expose her to things she missed out in the entertainment life.
Yeah, we were really hitting it off. I met her parents. She met my folks and my sisters. And
okay. Did you all break up at some point?
Yeah, in May, late
Why did you all break up?
Several reasons, I think, but none that she wanted to discuss with me at the time of the breakup. She didn't want to work things out.
Looking back, what do you think?
Well, probably because...
Why don't you tell him? Why don't you just tell him?
Yeah,
you can give me the background.
She never did tell me.
You can give me the background, and then at some point you can tell me why you all broke up, because he still doesn't know. He still think y'all go...
And he never asked.
I believe he still think y'all go together.
He never asked. Again, like he said, we met on Match.com, met after Christmas. And we started dating right off the bat. And I found that he was nothing like he described himself. One of the things was he has a very, very serious food addiction. It was not uncommon for him to sit down and he could eat 5 pounds of fried chicken right there. And if I didn't stop him to say, hey,
God, I don't
Come on.
believe that.
well, I'm the one who cooked it up.
5 pounds of
I could
chicken.
never eat that.
Or 4 to 6 loaves of bread in a week, And he has heart disease in his family at an early age. And with his lifestyle and how he chose to eat and what he ate and how he didn't exercise, he is a ticking time bomb.
Did that affect your relationship?
Very much so.
How?
Well, it affected it in many ways. He was very lazy. He sat and watched TV anywhere from 7 to 14 hours a day. And my daughter can
Before
attest
I go to work,
to
Your Honor. I mean, I'm
what
just
do you want
relaxing
to
like
do
if you watch
after work?
TV after work. They would watch my TV.
Well, that's the TV he brought with him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And so,
about $7,000
We're going to get to the
worth of other
mattress
stuff.
you're suing about. It makes sense that he's suing you about a mattress if you say he's lazy. So we're going to get to that point. Anything else you want to tell me about the relationship? Why did you all break up?
I broke it up because it wasn't working. We were not a match on so many different levels. And I'm just bringing you an example of one of them with his health and his, I needed to tell him everything
You were
to do.
incompatible and you discovered
Right.
that
And I
after
said,
several months of
I'm
being
not going to
together.
go on. I'm not
Okay.
going to lie. I'm going
Yeah,
to
she
be
needed to
honest
tell me
right
to
up front.
wash all the cars and mow the lawn and pick up after 2 dogs that weren't even my own.
And he only picked up the dogs once, by the way. And he only washed the dishes if I said, can you do the dishes?
Okay.
So I did most of the cleaning, all the cooking. He looked at me like he expected it.
The mattress. Why are you suing her for a mattress?
I purchased the mattress a couple days after I moved in. When I went to move out, she wouldn't give me my stuff.
How so? What did she say?
I have a tape here
Okay,
on.
let me hear it.
Okay.
Hey, Brian, this is Kelly. Hey, I thought about yesterday's conversation, and I've come to this. I want to be here when you come, so Saturday doesn't work for me at all. And I also don't want payments for $750. I need cash. So when you have the cash, we will arrange a day for you to pick up your thing. So hope that'll work for you. By the way, the locks have been changed. Let me know what you want to do there. So,
Okay.
All right, bye.
Ma'am, let me hear your side about the mattress.
Well, he went and purchased it afterwards without talking to me how we were going to pay for it, any of that. And that first month and a half, we talked before he moved in about splitting the utilities and the living expenses. And the first month and a half, he contributed nothing except for the Comcast bill, which was TV and internet. So when we were talking about it, I said, look, you didn't pay me for the month and a half. Well, we agreed. And he says, I don't have the money. I can do payments. Well, thinking about it, I'm not comfortable with that. Once that bed leaves the house, I have nothing to hold him to say, look.
It's against a lot of hope.
And so he came, and when he came, not one word was mentioned about the bed. He didn't attempt to get the bed. In fact, I have a notarized witness statement here to
Ma'am,
that fact.
let me move past what you're
Okay.
saying, because number one, I heard what was said on the recording, and what was said by you is that he can't come and get his things until he paid you. Therefore, I'm convinced he did want his mattress. Now, with regard to refusing to give him his things until he pays you, with regard to the changing of the locks, he, at the time he spent, say, over 30 days with you and lived there with you, he became a tenant of yours, particularly since you say he was to pay you. And as such, you have to get a court order to evict someone. You just can't say, get out, and they leave. Even when couples argue, you can't just put the person out and lock them out.
But if
that's
he left
illegal.
on
Let
his
me
own
finish.
accord?
That's illegal. You must get a court order. Now, you were saying something about he left on his own,
Yeah,
but you withheld his property.
Well, no,
And
he
that's
could
what
have
he's
taken
suing
it.
you for. He's suing you for his property.
He took some of his
No,
personal
ma'am, he
items.
couldn't take it. I just heard what you said. He couldn't take it. You withheld it because of money, which is illegal. You had to sue him for your money. You had to give him his property and sue him, as he's doing you. Now, the counterclaim for $1,192 for rent, bills, and food, how does he owe you for that? You say you all had an agreement?
Yes, we had an agreement. It was a verbal agreement. I sat down with him before and shared the bills. And I didn't charge him for the Comcast bill. I just charged him for the rent for that month and a half, the food that we agreed to. And I do have it here. I have a summary sheet with all the receipts to follow.
Okay. Sir? What are you trying to look over here for? You know.
Well, because I never saw any bills of any.
To him. He's trying to stretch his neck to look over here. Did you ever give him the bills, ma'am, the copy, and say, this is what you owe me?
Well, no, I didn't.
Why?
Because he was gone out of the house by then, and
I did saw him again?
No, except when he came to pick it. But I had.
Well, then that's when you should have given him the bill.
Right, and I did have. I mean, for 1 month I laid it out, and the bills were always out there for him to view.
It's not out there, ma'am. I'm saying when he left and you decided to withhold his property until he paid you. He doesn't know what to pay you if you've never given him the bills. Sir, have you paid anything toward these?
Yes.
What have you paid?
This was for May. This one
What
here.
have you paid?
I never had to pay for May. We agreed I would start paying in May, Your Honor.
Okay.
And I did pay in May.
So you don't believe quiet, sir. You don't believe you owe anything?
No, sir. I don't owe
All right.
a dime.
And you paid everything up until the time you left that
yes,
you owed?
everything is current except the agreement we had was that she would help me in May because I was going through a Chapter 7 because I lost work.
Lauren, witness and heard from the following. Who was Lauren?
Lauren works, and we also went on several dates.
Why didn't you have an agreement with her?
No.
You haven't. You have something from Lauren.
This is what he heard her tell.
Ma'am, did you tell him he can get off for April?
I did not.
Okay. You
Half
have any
of March
proof
and
other
all
than
of
was this
April, no.
witness standing there?
Yes, she was at my birthday party.
You at the birthday party, she told you don't have to pay in April.
She told Lauren that he was helping me. We were fine. Our relationship was fine.
Sir, I'm asking you a very clear question.
Yes, I'm telling you.
At your party, she began discussing with someone else what you owed her and how you were to pay her.
She said,
sir, that's a very simple question.
Yes.
Was there any discussion between her and Lauren about what you had to pay or what you didn't have to pay? I don't believe you. I don't believe she would choose that as the appropriate time to start discussing the bills that you would have to pay.
Defendant Kelly Porter dated the plaintiff, and she claims he was so addicted to food that he could eat 5 pounds of fried chicken in one sitting.
Do you have a bill for your mattress?
all right.
All right, ma'am, I'm going to grant him the amount for the mattress because you withheld it illegally, $1,539. I will grant you the unpaid rent, bills, and food expenses that I believe he owes you. I don't believe that his friend discussed with you. I just said I don't believe it, and that was a critical part of your testimony. That was a critical. Now you're in contempt. Your case is dismissed. Judgment for the defendant. Have a good day. Don't ever talk over a judge when he's giving his judgment. All right? Because it'll cost you just what it costs you. Have a good day.
I thought everything was going fine. She comes out of the blue. It's not working out. Doesn't want to give me a reason.
Yeah, we're finished. It's done.